Bry's Comics.
This video is another opportunity to win a free CGC 9.8 Signature Series copy of Noctera Blacktop Bill's Special, my exclusive by Tyler Kirkham. Thank you so much to everyone for the incredible support. I am absolutely blown away by the response to this, although I'm not that surprised. It's incredible artwork by Tyler Kirkham with a book with some spec potential behind it, but we are way past 50% sold out, and I haven't even started to promote this thing with ads or anything. So thank you to everyone. There's still some copies available at bryscomics.com, and while you're there, if you sign up for the newsletter, you're entered to win a free slab every single month. So this video is a look at my personal collection. I think it's a valuable video. For one, I think it would be fun to look back next year and see how the collection has changed, because this collection has completely changed from last year, but that's because my life has completely changed. I quit my full-time job to be a full-time comic book retailer and really changed my strategy for collecting. And so from here on out, it'll probably be more focused and on the same track. But you know, I think it's a valuable video because every book in my collection has a purpose and a significance and a reason, so there's valuable information there. And then also my spec boxes. So my graded CGC spec boxes are books that are ready to go when the announcement comes. And this important thing to consider is the turn times for CGC and how long it would take to get a book graded and things like that. So there's some books that, you know, are okay to keep raw for speculation and some that are good to have graded and ready to go. And we're not going to be detailing the raw books in my spec collection or the books that are at CGC, but there is 4 or 5 boxes of stuff that's ready to go. And I think that's incredibly valuable information right there. I have a lot of faith in these series. Also, if you didn't catch the trailer for my exclusive cover made by Goody, stay tuned to the end of the video. There's a really awesome trailer for the actual exclusive that's really cool. So leave a note in the comments, what do you collect and why do you collect it? It'll enter you to win that free CGC Signature Series slab. And I hope you enjoy the show. So here is the back wall, and the back wall is the personal collection. And in order for something to make it into the personal collection, it usually has to fit 2 criteria. 1, have a huge potential upside, and 2, brings me joy in some kind of way. And that could be usually because it's, you know, something obvious like a major first appearance of a character, but sometimes it's something more obscure than that. And I'll show you what I mean. First up, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 31. And the reason this is in the PC is because I love Spider-Gwen, and this is the first appearance of Gwen Stacy. Also, it has a huge potential upside. Just love this book, but the bigger reason is I needed something to go in this awesome Spider-Man slab stand. And I just love red Spider-Man comics. I just wanted something that with the traditional colors of Spider-Man, so I had this slab stand made by Comic Blocks on Instagram. I'm not sure if they still do it or not, but I should have went with ASM 50 for this book, kicking myself for doing that, but this is a lovely book as well. And next up we have Daredevil number 105, and this is the first appearance of Moondragon. This is where Madam McEvil becomes Moondragon, and this one has a funny story about me submitting it a whole bunch of times to finally get the 9.4, and I just can't find anything that presents better in a higher grade for a reasonable price. I would love to upgrade that, and there's some huge potential for that. Phyla Vell, we know, is pretty much confirmed for the MCU, and Moondragon is her lover, so that logically follows for me. Next up, we have Luke Cage, Hero for Hire number 2 in a CGC 9.8. And the reason this is in the PC is because it's the first appearance of Claire Temple, who is played by Rosario Dawson in the Netflix series of so many different Marvel shows, and I love Rosario Dawson. I love the character, and Luke Cage I think is a huge spec potential. I think that book's going to go through the roof when we get him actually in the MCU, and there's only 33 of these in the world graded at 9.8. I had another one that somebody offered me $1,500 and I only paid $500, so I couldn't refuse. Next up we have Marvel Premiere number 15, the first appearance of Iron Fist in a CGC 9.6 signed by Stan Lee. And the reason this is in the PC is I think that Iron Fist and Luke Cage are coming to the MCU in a new team-up show, so that's why I have both of these, and there's only 13 of these in the world in that grade or higher signed by Stan Lee. Next we have Black Knight number 1, and I bought this as a spec. I was just gonna flip it. I got it for $2,500. I think it's worth somewhere you know, north of 5,000 now. It's just incredibly rare. There's only 120 or so total graded copies on the census. This is the first appearance of the first Black Knight in Sir Percy, and a bunch of other stuff as well. This is from 1955, and the story is by Stan Lee, and it's just an incredible piece of history. I love this book, and the best part is the Kelpadine diet ad on the back, which is an ad that states if you just eat candy every time you're hungry, you're guaranteed to lose weight. I think that has a huge part of comic book history, the kind of crazy ads that we saw in the 50s, and I decided to keep this. As soon as I saw Kit Harington in the Eternals, I think that character has a huge future in the MCU. We haven't even seen him as the Black Knight yet, and I know I can't get another copy of this, and so I'm happy to keep that in the PC. Next up, we have Giant Size X-Men #1, and this came in that massive collection that I just bought. It's one of the top books in that collection, signed by Stan Lee in gold, which is not common. You don't see that too much, and I love this book. Decided to keep it in the PC, at least for now, because it's incredibly difficult to find these signed by Stan Lee in this grade or higher. They just don't come up for sale that often, and I love it that it presents a lot better than an 8.0. The reason it got downgraded is because of a little bit of color lift, which is not that big of a deal. Also in that big collection came X-Men #1, and I decided to keep this one as well, at least for now. It's just a terrible time to sell this book. I think it's a great time to get in on this book if you were considering it, and decided, yeah, why am I going to sell this? I don't want to sell this. I'd rather just hold on to it. So it's creating a theme with Silver Age grails in the 2.5 grade, because this is the crown jewel of my collection, Fantastic Four #1 in a 2.5. Beautiful book. I think it could possibly get a 3.0, but I'm not sure that it's a slam dunk, so I'll just be happy with a 2.5. To go with it, Fantastic Four #2 in a 7.0. Just a beautiful book, presents lovely. First appearance of the Skrull, second appearance of the Fantastic Four, great spec potential, and to round it out, Fantastic Four #3. And I was just going to stop at 1, 2, and 3, but now it's obvious. It's like, oh crap, I need 4 and 5. I'm not sure if I'll ever get 4 or 5 because of where prices are heading with that, but this is the first time that the Fantastic Four don costumes. It's in a 6.0. The opportunity came for me to trade for this book, and I could not pass it up, so I'm happy to keep this in the PC. Alias #1, signed by Stan Lee in a 9.8, and I'm a huge Stan Lee Signature Series fan, and I think that Jessica Jones has a lot of spec potential. Saw this for a great price and couldn't pass it up. Fantastic Four #52 and a 6.5, first appearance of the Black Panther. This is a PC book just because I am such a huge fan of the character. I will always have this unless I upgrade it, and I even had a special slab stand made for it. Also by Comic Block. It says Black Panther, and it's got all of this cool stuff, even the Black Panther language written on the back that says Bry is a badass in Wakandan. Since I'm such a big fan of Stan Lee, I even have the Stan Lee Signature Series watch, which has his silhouette and his signature on it. We have Fantastic Four #36, which is the first appearance of Medusa in the Frightful Four. Got a little Paste Pot Pete action on the front. He's my favorite B-tier villain, signed by Stan Lee, and that one is in the coolest block, comic block that I have, the Stan Lee Signature Series block. It even has Stan Lee, a little action figure there on the side. It says Atlas from when he was with Atlas. That goes well with my Black Knight book. Just incredibly awesome slab stand. And it says, are you Tony Stank? And just an awesome, my favorite comic block. Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. #1 in the CGC 9.6. I got this because of the Jim Steranko art. It's my highest graded Silver Age book, a 9.6 12 center, which is incredible to me. I got it just for the artwork, and I might actually end up moving this someday. Strange Tales 111, second appearance of Doctor Strange, first appearance of Baron Mordo, and the first appearance of Asbestos Man there on the cover. I got this just because I couldn't believe that they actually made a villain called Asbestos Man. Would love to upgrade this. This one is staying in the PC forever. Avengers 47, first appearance of Dane Whitman, who becomes the third Black Knight. Same reason for this, I'm just keeping all my Black Knight stuff right now. Power Man and Iron Fist. This also goes back to the rumor that there's a new Power Man and Iron Fist show coming. This is my absolute favorite artwork for the team up of Power Man and Iron Fist. Just incredible artwork there. And this is also the first time that they used the term Heroes for Hire, which could be the name of the Disney Plus show. And so this has great spec potential plus the awesome cover. I actually have 2 copies of this. Strange Academy #1, the 1 in 50 Opena. This book is on a tear, so I decided to keep it. Obviously, it just has a ton of spec potential. Marvel Team Up 141 in a newsstand edition. Ties ASM 252 for the first appearance of the black suit. Awesome cover art. And I had all the black suit stuff at one point in the PC, and man, do I regret selling some of it. I'll probably let this go at some point because it just brings up the fact that I sold my 252 newsstand and all my other black suit Spidey stuff, so it's like time to just move on. Iron Man 54, the first appearance of Madame McEvil, who becomes Moondragon. Like I said, the lover of Phi Lavelle. I believe that she will make it into the MCU at some point. Not to mention the amazing cover art for this. I got this raw, had it slabbed, and would love to upgrade this. Might actually get one this weekend at an auction that's ending for 9.6. Fantastic Four Annual #6, first appearance of Annihilus and the birth of Franklin Richards. Tons of spec potential behind this. 8.5, very difficult to get in high grade. It's a square-bound book, and I love square-bound books. All of a sudden I have this thing for square-bound books in high grade. It's just so cool to see them preserved in such good condition. So I may be adding some more square-bound books to the PC. Fantastic Four #45, first appearance of Lockjaw and the Inhumans. Just a piece of comic book history. 8.5, very difficult to secure in high grade. Got this with one of my stimulus checks, so that makes it even sweeter. Avengers 48, first appearance of Dane Whitman as the Black Knight. Like I said, just love the Black Knight spec right now. I think there's a ton of potential behind it, and I love the character. Marvel Super Special #16 and a 9.6. This is in the PC because it's incredibly rare. Tons of first appearances. It's the adaptation of The Empire Strikes Back, which becomes Star Wars issues number 39 through 44. So everything that happens in those comic books happens in this comic book magazine first. So I saw this for an incredible price. Couldn't pass it up. Would love to get a 9.8, but there's only 16 of them in the world. Nova #1. Stay tuned for a future video about this, on the funny story about how I finally got this in the PC in a 9.8. First appearance of Nova. Awesome spec potential behind this book. And when I saw issues #2 and 3, which are hard to find in 9.8 because there's not a ton of copies out there, I couldn't pass them up. Very affordable book for issues 2 and 3, and I love the B tier villains. This is the first appearance of the Condor and Powerhouse there on the cover, and just a couple of awesome B tier villains. And the same with #3, first appearance of Diamond Head. And I just think it's kind of cool to have issue 1, 2, and 3 in the series, all in 9.8. Marvel Superheroes Volume 2, #8, the first appearance of Squirrel Girl. And my son loves Squirrel Girl, and I actually think that there's good potential for her to make it into the MCU, especially with maybe like an animated series, like somehow tied into Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. There's so many different ways they can bring her in, and the MCU is expanding and reaching different audiences, and I think that Squirrel Girl fits the bill for bringing in some new audiences to the MCU. Avengers Annual #10 in a 9.6. First appearance of Rogue, newsstand edition, and I think there's just great spec potential on this. I'll probably let this book slip when the time is right, just because the cover absolutely sucks. Captain America 217 and 9.8. This is rare in 9.8. I think there's only about 35 copies or something in the world. First appearance of Marvel Man, who later becomes Quasar. I think Quasar has spec potential. So rare with spec potential. It's in the PC. Alright, so here we have all of the spec books that aren't in the PC. These are just going to get sold when the time is right. And so we have Spider-Man Free Comic Book Day 2007, #1, Amazing Spider-Man Swing Shift, first appearance of Jackpot and Alana Jobson, and Mr. Negative as well. Young Avengers #1, no introduction needed there. First Kate Bishop and a bunch more. Shadecraft #1, this is the Zoo Orzu Things from Another World exclusive. When Shadecraft comes, if it comes to Netflix, it's already been optioned by Netflix, but there's only 2 exclusives for that series, and this one will definitely be the money book. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. Captain America #25, first appearance of Sam Wilson as Captain America. Sleeping hard right now, I got 2 copies of that. Nova #1, this is the first solo series for Nova. It's also the first appearance of his sister Kaylin, and I believe his parents. This is the 1 in 150 Joe Quesada sketch cover. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of those. Then we have We Only Find Them When They're Dead, the 1 in 50 Jenny Friesen cover. If this series ever gets optioned, this will be the money book, the Friesen 1 in 50. So I have 2 copies of that in a 9.8. Amazing Spider-Man 265, first Silver Sable in a 9.8. And the second print, which is this awesome silver metallic cover. And I have that in a 9.8, 2 copies of the second print. I actually prefer the second print. Failsafe #1, it's just an option indies. Now this box here is the Miles Morales box. Everything in here is Miles Morales related. We have Ultimate Fallout 4 in a 9.2, the first print. I have 1, 2, 3 9.2s. Then we have Ultimate Fallout 4 first print in 9.6. So I have 2 9.6s. And Ultimate Fallout 4 in a 9.8, and I have 1, 2 of those. And then Ultimate Spider-Man #1, first solo series for Miles Morales, second appearance of Miles Morales, and the first appearance of the Ultimate Prowler. So I have a 9.8 here with the custom label, another 9.8, and a 9.6 newsstand edition. This one's incredibly rare. And another 9.8. Then we have the second prints. I have 1, 2, 3, 3 regular second prints, and then the Pichelli second print in the 9.8. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Then we have Spider-Man 2 #1, the first appearance of Evil Miles. The reason I bought this was actually because I wanted to check out the new CBCS case, which I actually really like, but that's the only reason I bought that. It was super cheap. And then he eventually becomes Ultimatum in this book, also CBCS case. Outlawed #1, just awesome Tony Daniel cover for Miles. Miles Morales #1, the Stella Freeze variant. One. Oh, the Police Brutality cover, which I thought fitting in the times and kind of a cool cover. #6, the Battle Lines Virgin variant. This is the first appearance of, love this cover. It's also the first appearance in there. And there's the other Stella Freeze. And the cover A for this series of Miles Morales. It's the first time that his name appears in title. Now this box, we'll be on to some other stuff. Wind #1, some James Tynion goodness, got 2 copies of that. Mighty Avengers #1, the 1 in 50 Hitch variant. This is the first appearance of Monica Rambeau as Spectrum. And we have 1, 2, 3 of the 1 in 50s. And then we have the 1 per store Deadpool sketch cover, which stores had to actually opt in to receive this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Marvel Premiere #16. This is the second appearance of Iron Fist, Origin of Iron Fist continued, first appearance of Lei Kung the Thunderer, first appearance of Scythe, and first cover appearance of Scythe. So I have a 9.4 and a 9.6. Was hoping for CPR candidates on that. And then we have We Live number 5. This is the Inaki Miranda Virgin sketch cover, limited to 250. First appearance of the Palladians. Super important to the storyline. This will be one of the money books for the We Live series. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. 7 of those. Nice House on the Lake, the 1 in 25 Werther Della Dera cover. 1, 2 of those. This is the other Shadecraft exclusive cover, the Franny Virgin cover from Sanctum Sanctorum. It's got a bunch of those. And then some regular Shadecraft number 1s. So here we have Something is Killing the Children, number 1, cover A. And I just absolutely love this series. I think it is the next Walking Dead. It just keeps getting better and better. Each new issue that comes out just seems like I'm reading the beginning of something that's going to go on for a very long time. So I have a lot of faith in it. So I have 2 copies there of cover A. Black Knight number 1, the first solo series for Dane Whitman as the Black Knight. Free Comic Book Day Civil War 2 from 2016. This is the first appearance of Ulysses Kane and the new Wasp in Nadia Pym. This book is super cheap. You can get it for $10 or less raw, so why not? 1, 2, 3, 4. And I do really love this cover art for that too, with Thanos on there. Wolverine number 1 newsstand in a CGC 9.6 with the custom label. I think I have 3 or 4 of these. I'm not sure where the other 3 are, but just talked about this in another video. I think that this book is gonna see a big resurgence soon. Marvel Superhero Secret Wars number 3. This is the first appearance of Volcana, so I'll probably hold that until the She-Hulk show comes out. Here we have New Agents of Atlas number 1. This is the 3rd print, super rare 3rd print. First appearance of so many characters. Unfortunately it's a 9.6, but definitely a good book to pick up right now. It's relatively cheap. Marvel Point 1 number 1. This is the first appearance of Sam Alexander as the new Nova, and a bunch of other stuff going on with this book as well. Great spec. I have 1 of those, and then this is the variant cover, so I have 1 of those, and that, another one of cover A, another variant, and then we have Thor 337 in a newsstand Canadian price variant. First appearance of Beta Ray Bill in a 9.6. America number 1. This is the first solo America Chavez comic, and this is the 1 in 25 incentive cover. Pricey book now, and I think that's just going to go up. Miss Marvel number 12, first appearance of the Red Dagger. This is the 1 in 10 Diodato cover, and I absolutely love this cover art, and it's a great spec. Red Dagger, I believe, is confirmed for the Miss Marvel show, and this is just the cover A of that book. Totally Awesome Hulk number 1, the hip hop variant. First appearance of Amadeus Cho as the Incredible Hulk. Love this book. I have 2 copies of that. And then Captain America Sam Wilson number 3, first appearance of Joaquin Torres as the Falcon. And I have a couple copies of that. Great time to pick this book up as well. All right, fresh box here. Jessica Jones number 1. First Jessica Jones in title. This is the 2nd print. Super hard to find, and I think if Jessica Jones comes back, that could spike. Canto number 3, just an early Canto book. Love these Drew Zucker covers, and I have 2 copies of 3, and then some copies of number 2 as well. 3 copies of 2. Venom number 9, cover A. I won this in a raffle actually, but first full appearance of Dylan Brock. I think he's going to have a bright future in the MCU someday, so I have a bunch of these exclusive covers for that as well. 3 copies of that. Then we have X-Men number 4, first Omega Red in a 9.6. I got like 5 or 6 of these, all for $40, so why not? Already graded. That's the newsstand. And then 1, 2, 3, and then 3 of the regular direct editions, all 9.6s. Redneck number 1 in a 9.8. I believe that's option Donny Cates stuff. Howard the Duck #1, the Ron Lin sketch version, first full appearance of Gwenpool. Angela Asgard's Assassins, not just Spawn 9 that I have a bunch of. And Strange Academy #2, cover A, 2 copies of that. Strange Academy #1, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the cover A. Thor 4, first cover appearance of the Black Winter. Got those for cover price, so why not? And last but not least, Marvel Premiere #15 in a 7.5, first Iron Fist. Deadpool Merc with a Mouth #7, the first appearance of Lady Deadpool, the Deadpool Kid, and Major Deadpool. One I haven't talked about on my channel ever, but definitely a good spec, first Lady Deadpool. I mean, you don't have to think too hard to see why. New Mutant Special Edition #1. I do believe this is the first appearance of the Valkyries Mist and Axe. Department of Truth #1, the 1 in 100 in a 9.6. And the second copy of Power Man Iron Fist 54 in a 9.8. And then of course I have a whole box of Spawn #9 as well over at the shop. Thanks once again. I hope this video was helpful or valuable to you in some way. If it was, please consider subscribing, leave a like and a comment down below. It'll enter you to win that CGC 9.8 Signature Series, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye.
Bry's Comics.